Tonight, we're looking at the IYPC press project for 2012, and then we also look at the issues of health delivery. It's a dual package for you, our cherished viewers, tonight. Today, the 19th of June 2012, the Interparty Youth Committee, under the auspices of the Frederick Ebert Stiftung, a German-based NGO, organized a press conference on the theme Sustaining Peace Before, During, and After Elections 2012. The press conference was addressed by the national chairman of the Interparty Youth Committee. And then for the records, the Interparty Youth Committee is a committee of the various national youth organizers of the political parties that are represented in Parliament: the National Democratic Congress, the New Patriotic Party, the People's National Conventions, and the Conventions People's Party. They had a press conference today to propose a project that they decide to embark in coming month to sustain peace before, during, and after the December 2012 elections. Let's take a look at details of the press conference in a video coming up shortly.
We have been brainstorming over the past months as youth leaders of the four main political parties represented in Parliament: the National Democratic Congress, the New Patriotic Party, the People's National Convention Party, and the Convention People's Party. We are here this morning in the spirit of unity and patriotism to assure all good people of Ghana of our commitment towards peaceful and violence-free election come December 2012. Reports in the media, especially from the beginning of this year, seems to suggest a fast-rising atmosphere of intemperate language and political intolerance suffering in our body politics. As young people, we have a major stake in the continuous survival and the peace of Ghana. We deem it fit to rise to the challenge, to stem the tide, and to redirect our path towards the electioneering campaign. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we are not here this morning to point fingers at any individual or group of person for some inflammatory statement that might have been made in the past. But we are here with one voice to send a message to our members, particularly young people in Ghana and in the diaspora, represented by this body, have resolved to change the face of our politics in Ghana, particularly our political activities and our political campaign strategies. We have resolved that our campaign messages will be focused on peace building and national development rather than insults, intemperate language, provocative statements, and any incitement of or against a group of people, tribe, religion, or different groupings in this country. We are focusing our campaign on issue-based rather than personalities, insults, character assassination, and others. Ladies and gentlemen, as the clock ticks closer to December, there is the need for all of us, including the media, to be very circumspect in what we say and what we report to the world. There must be a strong sense of vigilance by editors of newspapers, online portals, radio and TV producers to report stories and developments which seek to promote national cohesion, peace and development, rather than sensationalism and incitement which have the propensity to derail our effort to engender peace among parties and their supporters. To achieve this objective, we have set for ourselves and resolve that henceforth our messages to our supporters at forums, campaign meetings, and in the media should be devoid of any form of provocation. Our posture and utterances should be geared towards inculcating in our supporters the need for peaceful coexistence, peaceful electioneering campaign, and above all, peaceful election. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of our activities towards engendering collaboration among us as political parties, we the youth organizers under the auspices of the FES would as a group be paying a working visit to the 10 regions In saying so, we have divided the 10 regions into 4 zones: the northern sector, southern sector, middle belt, and the western sector. And we will tour these regions, interact with the young people, and together we see how best we can go through this campaign without any single violence or bloodshed. We also want to make sure that young people understand what party politics is about. It's about making sure that our various political parties find a way of solving our situations as a people in the country, rather than fighting each other or at each other's throat. So we'll go around and preach the peace message across the regions. We would also pay courtesy calls on all the flag bearers of the various political parties to discuss with them on behalf of the youth of Ghana the need to promote peaceful electioneering campaign before, during, and after the 2012 election. And I must say that we are starting this process immediately tomorrow, when we'll be visiting the presidential candidate of the PNC, Mr. Ayariga. So that is the first visit we'll be doing, and we'll be spreading this visit between now till December. After that, we'll inform the media when we'll be doing the next visit. And we want you to be with us so that we can go and have a discussion with the candidates. We want them to assure us that they are going to lead a violent-free campaign devoid of hate speech, name-calling, so that we continue to enjoy the peace. Furthermore, ladies and gentlemen, we will equally seek audience with our former presidents, ex-President Jerry John Rawlings and ex-President John Ajekum Kufuor, to formally announce to them our peace project and solicit their support to promote peaceful election in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, at the center of this peace project should be the media, the vehicle on which we all ride to send our messages across to the public. The media should be interested in putting on the front burners issues that would help the electorate to make a wise decision when they enter the ballot box to vote. The media should emphasize on stories which unite us rather than those that divide us. The media must help us to ensure that henceforth time and energy is spent on promoting developmental issues such as healthcare, education, the economy, sanitation, and the things that sustain us as a nation. It is known that in countries that have witnessed electoral violence and civil strife on the African continent over the past decades, the media was used as a potent vehicle for violence and ethnic cleansing rather than as a rallying point for unity, peace, and national development. We do not want to sit aloof whilst there are early warning signals in some parts of the country. Beyond the media, ladies and gentlemen, our religious and civil society must be seen to be involved in this campaign to promote peace in Ghana. The job should not only be left in the hands of the politicians and the media, but our religious leaders and civil society must be seen to be discouraging people who preach division in our country. They should be able to name and shame people who come out with statements that does not help national unity and cohesion. Trust must be reposed in our security agencies to keep the peace, and in doing so, no one should encourage any incidents of vandalism and mob justice when disputes arise. We must have enough confidence in our security and legal system so they perform their duties without undue pressure. As we work harder towards soliciting votes for our respective candidates in the 2012 election, the safety, security, and survival of Ghana should be the paramount objectives of all stakeholders in this election. As young men and women of Ghana, we should be more concerned about the outcome of the December election and work towards peaceful campaign before, during, and after the election.
You've been listening to, or you've been watching, the National Youth Organizer of the ruling National Democratic Congress, Ludwig Akpene-Hlonje, who is also the National Chairman of the Interparty Youth Committee under the auspices of the Frederick Ebert Stiff Tank. And he mentioned that they are going to engage in 3 activities as part of the peace project. They are going to visit the 10 regions of Ghana together with the other youth organizers from the various political parties represented in parliament. They are going out there to preach the message of peace among the young supporters of the various parties all over the 10 regions. They're also paying courtesy calls on the 2 former presidents, His Excellency President Jerry John Rawlings and His Excellency President John Agyekum Kufuor. And also as part of the visit, they are part of the peace project, they're also paying courtesy calls on the various flag bearers of the political parties and asking them to support the need to promote peaceful elections in coming days. Also, they are visiting some traditional leaders and religious leaders to make sure that the peace project becomes a reality. So back to studio, I have with me Murtala Mohammed, who is the parliamentary candidate for the Nantong constituency in the Northern region, and also Kwame Agboja, who is an aspirant to the Adaklu seat in the Volta region, and he happens to be the UK Ireland branch vice chairman of the National Democratic Congress. Gentlemen, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so briefly, what can we say about this, the peace project by this body, the Interparty Youth Wing Committee under the auspices of the FES? Briefly, what can we say about that?
Well, I think that the Federal Herbert Stiftung have been engaged in such activities. I can quite remember in my student leadership days when I was with the All Africa Students Union. We did have a lot of programs with them, with the National Union of Ghana Students and other student unions in the country. More specifically, NUCs at that time, I guess before the 2008 elections and I think 2004 elections. They've been in Ghana for a very long time. It is good that we preach peace. It is good that particularly young people who unfortunately have been used by some desperate political leaders to foment trouble. It's good that we serve as a vanguard to ensuring that we have peace in these elections. The elderly certainly can't engage in such brute force that unfortunately is being used in elections and electioneering campaign. They most often use unsuspected young people. And some of them, unfortunately, are used through peanuts. They throw at them and then they would go and kill themselves. I mean, clearly, if you have presidential candidate who would say people should die and they become president, certainly you should expect that. I think that people must realize that we have only Ghana. And I have said that Ghana is the only country we have. I haven't gone to secure visa into my passport in the anticipation that the nation is plunged into a situation of anarchy and chaos that I live. Ghana is the only country that we have, and Ghana is the country that will be in come 2012. We are told that coming events cast their shadow before them. If statements are made, political leaders have the responsibility to ensure that they don't make statements that have the potential of creating tension or a statement that would plunge this nation into chaos and anarchy. Because clearly, people would see you and see you as a role model. I have always said that I don't sit on TV expecting everybody to love me. Certainly, there will be people who would hate you, and there will be others who would love you. And those who would love you, majority of them, particularly young ones, would want to see you as their role model. So whatever statement you make, they take it serious. If you take a kid who goes to school, listens to the teacher than the parent. And you do find kids arguing with their parents that this is what teacher says, is this. Even though the father and the mother who take care of him or her will say, no, this is what my teacher says. It is the nature, it is the environment in which we are. Every human being, your life and what you do, your attitude is based on two things. The nature, the psychologist will tell you that the nature is what we are born with, and the nature is what we learn, we absorb within the environment. Now, if you realize that within the environment, and the political parties themselves are environment, we should look at the demeanor of our presidential candidates, the demeanor of our political leaders, and that will better inform us. So I think that is well and good. I hope that political parties, all the aspirants, will give this particular group the needed support and encouragement that it deserves. I am very happy that all the political parties, I'm told, were represented. And I think that the speech was very clear. It was explicitly done. I think that we should move our talks. We should move our talks with actions. And I just hope that that needed support is given. And let us not preach one thing and then practice the other. But as far as the NDC is concerned, there is no doubt in my mind that His Excellency the President has been advising us, and that is why, as members of the government communication group, we have an ethics. To the extent that the President can ask someone to apologize to someone for making a statement. We haven't celebrated people who made statements to plunge this nation into chaos and anarchy. We have a leader who has demonstrated humility and love for all, love for the people of this country, and I have no doubt in mind. I do hope that the other political parties would also emulate the example of our political, particularly our youth organizer. I mean, he has demonstrated some outstanding leadership in terms of his demeanor. He has never attacked anybody. He has never led tax to Asempa or to any radio station to do anything. This is how democracy must be allowed to grow.
Okay, all right, thank you, Murtala. Let me come to my good friend, Kwame. Yeah, Kwame, to you, do you see this whole idea of Interparty Youth Committee, where political parties, the youth leaders of the political parties will take up the challenge to preach peace among, do you think is relevant?
Yes, very, very much. Don't forget the fact that we have so much self-inflicted tension in the system, and the energies of the youth, which is supposed to be harnessed for good, is maliciously, in some cases, being harnessed for distraction. And I think this kind of platform gives us a very good idea to harness our youth and the ideas to build a better place for us. I am just hoping that this beautiful gesture would receive the genuine support of all, not only the political leaders, religious, and everybody in the society.
For the president, we can trust that.
Yeah, well, because you see, there's one thing as saying this new nice words and other things. We've heard all of them before. We heard people say all these things when the camera is on them, but when they get to their own private meetings, they say things to extreme, side of what they said previously. I believe that if we all committed to this, and like you're saying, I understand all the leaders of the political parties at youth level are included in this. Yeah. If we follow this, it will lead to a very good result, where we would harness all the energy, the vision of the youth, and channel it to build something for this country instead of using it as a weapon against ourselves. We don't have anywhere to go in terms of abode, like my brother Mutala said. If we don't maintain this peace, if we don't promote this peace at all levels, and especially with the youth, because most especially, if you look at the images from Huawei, you couldn't see many old people using the machete. It's unfortunately people like you and I who are doing that. So any platform that can create a very genuine and a peaceful atmosphere for us, even if we disagree with each other, we can decide to come together to disagree rather than hide in our own corners and do other things. I think it's very beautiful. And the statement read by the youth organizer of NDC, I think it's a joint statement, was well crafted. And I believe every presidential candidate reading that statement would know that you can't get it better than that. All they needed was to commit to it. And not only commit to it on Monday, and then on Tuesday, run away from it. Because people try to find a reason to say that, oh, we said, they say ridiculous things and say that, oh, actually, it's only in Ghana that I hear people say simple English. I don't want to repeat those words, and then try to use 6 months explaining to me what those words mean. It's simple English. You said it, Unless you don't mean it, then say, well, I don't mean it, then we draw the statement.
Wow. Isn't it interesting that people should feel safe to go out there to stand in the queue for maybe a number of minutes or hours to vote? Yeah. So when you put fear into the people, the same people who are supposed to go out there to vote for you, and then you create an environment where they don't feel secure, how do they even go out there to feel confident and safe that they are going to queue in there? They are going out there to queue and vote for you and get back home safe.
Well, it's much more complex than that. You see, it's about making you feel that if, excuse me to say, Comrade Mutala is the one who is on the ticket of Party X, if you vote for him, the place is not going to be safe. You understand? So it's surely somebody will go and vote. It's about influencing the mentality of the guy when he eventually gets to the poll. So it's a very malicious tactics which some people use, but we have to avoid it, because if this place goes in flame, nobody is going to be a president safely either. So we have to ensure that.
What should be the posture of the various presidential candidates when this group or this campaign comes to them? What should be their posture?
I have said here in several fora that if the chief comes home with a weird haircut, what do you expect the subjects to do? The responsibility is for the flag bearers, the candidates. And I'm saying that if you compare all the presidential candidates, there is no doubt in anybody's mind that President Mills stands tall. Yeah. President Mills has never, and I say this, he has never attacked any presidential candidate. But every single opportunity Nana Akufo-Addo gets, he goes ballistic. He attacks His Excellency the President. He attacks him every single opportunity. President Mills is on record to have even reprimanded NDC panelists on a program. There was a program, an NDC panelist purportedly insulted Frances. And Frances called His Excellency the President And His Excellency the President said the guy should apologize to Francis, which the gentleman did. This is the kind of leadership we want to have in this country. It isn't that, if you read Arrow of God, and I read this book when I was in the SSS, that we often stand in the compound of the coward and points at the ruins where the brave man used to live. Now, people, if you are calm, if you avoid insults, if you don't attack, it doesn't mean that you are weak. But the fact is that you are looking at corporate Ghana. Okay. And like I have said, we've had presidential candidates, we've had people aspiring to lead this country in 1992, in 1996, in 2000, in 2004. Why is it that 2008 and impending 2012 is a different ball game altogether? People should be questioning. Okay. Why is it that a particular candidate who was not involved in those elections, we had very peaceful elections, yet in the 2008 and 2012 elections, we have a particular candidate in the person of Nana Akufo-Addo. Why this height? And he himself, these are not my words. When he met the MPP leadership in Germany, MPP wing in Germany, he said that high because of the newly found oil. I mean, clearly, he was not concerned about the bread and butter. That the stakes are high because of the newly found oil.
So that's what the target is?
Exactly. So it means that the ultimate objective is about the oil. It doesn't matter what happens to Ghana. His Excellency, the President, is of much concern. What happens to this nation, Ghana? When I listen to people who say that the President is weak, people are saying he's weak because he's not prosecuting people who ought to be prosecuted. People are saying he's weak because he doesn't rush into taking decisions like others would do. We have seen several leaders across the globe who rush into taking decisions, and those decisions led those countries into a state that they have never even survived it. Okay. You have a president who is very humble, a president who has demonstrated that you can't pretend to be humble when you are not.
Okay, all right. MPP Manifesto, page 32. It reads, 2000 Manifesto, page 32. It reads, and I quote, overseas treatment for top government officials. That is the topic or the subtitle. And it reads, the incoming MPP government shall abolish this practice, and the catchphrase there is abolish. Currently, the budget provided for this type of treatment is shrouded in secrecy, and so also the method of selection of patients and the types of diseases treated abroad. MPP government will rather put emphasis on improving health facilities in Ghana so that overseas treatment at public expense can be curtailed. In the midst of these, my guest, yet we know that people like Peter Alajete, the late Kojo Braredu, the late Richard Koshiga, the late Courage Koshiga, sorry, the late President J. Akufo himself, Akufo-Addo, Hawa Yakubu, the late Teresa Melitego, and the list continues. These were a number of MPP top-notch and the gurus of the MPP who had gone severally, and some of them, unfortunately, even passed on whilst on treatment abroad. Let me begin from Murtala. Murtala, does President Mills have confidence in the health delivery system of Ghana?
Well, he has absolute confidence in the health delivery system of this country. Mind you, his personal doctor is a Ghanaian, and his first point of call is Ghana. I think that I listened to the director or the president of the Ghana Medical, one of the experts, I think, on Joy, and he said that His Excellency the President, that it is the individual right to go to anywhere for either treatment. But let me just make this point very clear. We realize that in the wake of this, Nana Akufo-Addo, the flag bearer of the NPP, issued a statement pretending to be wishing His Excellency the President well, when in actual fact he is not. The statement itself exposed him.
I hear even the statement is under contention.
He lied in the statement, and I'm not surprised because this is the same person who sat on BBC Hard Talk and lied to the global community. He said that the whistleblower, as I talk to you, is in jail in Ghana. And everybody knows in this country that there is no any whistleblower in jail. Yet he said that he heard that they heard from His Excellency the President that he was going to the United States of America for medical treatment. When in actual fact, His Excellency the President never said he was going for medical treatment. A medical check and a medical treatment are not the same.
Is it the case that he doesn't know the difference between the two?
Not that he doesn't know. It was mischievous. Okay. You don't necessarily get sick before you go for medical check. We are told that at the age of 60, you need not less than 2 times medical check within a year. And I'm saying that His Excellency the President never said he was going for medical treatment. He said he was going for medical check. Even if you look at the statement issued and signed by Nana Akufo-Addo, at the end of the statement he said that we hope that the check would be something I can't quite remember. So it means that they knew what they were doing. But you see, one thing, not just the people who went there, it is a fact that Akufo-Addo, his father, who was once the governor of Ghana. He was flown, the president of Ghana, between the 1960s. Yeah. He was flown out of this country every 2 weeks for medical treatment. Every 2 weeks.
That is Idro Akufo-Addo?
Yes, every 2 weeks. The facts are there. Someone should not tell me I wasn't at that time. Every 2 weeks, he was flown out of this country for medical treatment.
I recall,
well, aren't we aware that
in a history book, I was reading somewhere in history that as of the date he was supposed to be sworn in, he was not sworn in on that date because he was out of town.
Exactly.
He was actually
you see, we live in this country,
and
I was so disappointed. Persons like Jefferson Saki and Israel Lai hiding behind Joy FM to push their MPP agenda. You listen. Look, I'm a fan of Joy FM. I listen to Joy FM. To be very honest, than any other FM station. And these people have never hidden their MPP's agenda. They hide behind Joy FM to push that people should pray for His Excellency the President, when in actual fact he's not going for treatment. I think that people must get this, and they are pushing that agenda. You know why? Was it on Monday or Tuesday? You had Napo, who was on Good Morning Ghana, saying that the president wasn't well. The president was in a deep, long slumber. This was the beginning of that agenda. They are trying to push an agenda that His Excellency the President is not well, and therefore he is not fit to be the President of the Republic of Ghana. The good people, but I'm not surprised, in 2008, the same MPP and their papers published that His Excellency the President was dead. It is only in Ghana that you have a political party that is rejoicing. We are told in Kumasi, people celebrated over the news that His Excellency the President was dead. It is only in Ghana, it is only in the MPP that they are happy to see someone dead. That they are happy to hear that someone dead, and no less a person than the President of the Republic of Ghana. I think that this is absolutely immoral, this is unacceptable, and this must not be accepted in any civilized society. And that statement, if you look at the statement, it was completely sarcastic. The statement where if they were picking certain statements made by His Excellency the President in that particular 2-paragraph statement that was issued. I am saying that aren't we aware that Nana Akufo-Addo went to Israel for medical check? Aren't we aware that he has a liver problem? Aren't we aware that he has diabetes? And if they challenge, they should publish it. We challenge them to publish the medical report of Nana Akufo-Addo.
And we challenge is saying that we should publish the president's report.
They should do, because the president has never, look, nobody is absolutely fit in this country. I can be sitting here talking and the next day you hear that Mutala is dead. Because this is something that can happen to me at any point in time. It can, look, death is a necessary and will come when it will come. You can't prevent it. But you have a political party which leadership are indeed rejoicing and happy to see a president die. This is not the first time. In 2008, they pronounced and published in their papers that the president was dead. He didn't die. They don't own and they don't control the life of His Excellency the President. The life of His Excellency the President is controlled by the good Lord. And the good Lord knows when he will die. Those who are talking, they don't know when they will die. They may even die before His Excellency the President. But we as a political party, we wouldn't wish. We have never made Nana Akufo-Addo's health issue, his liver problem, as a political case. We have never done that. His diabetic problem, we have never done that. But they repeatedly talk about His Excellency the President because they want him dead. And I'm saying that this is not something that is hidden. That particular statement cannot deceive the people of this country. Because if you issue a 2-paragraph statement, that is completely pregnant with mischief and sarcasm. The purpose of it is to deepen that. And Israel Lai and Jefferson Saki hiding behind Joy FM, and they are also pushing that agenda. I think that Joy FM must rebuke these individuals because some of us are fans. I have started watching Joy FM before any of them joined the station. And I have been watching the station. I'm a fan of that station. And I think that that station should not be allowed. Because this same Jefferson Saki was the PR of Nana. He was doing his adverts and everything. Now people raised concerns. And people thought that they were going to be professional. People thought that they were going to delink their political affiliation with the MPP and do a professional job. Because Joy FM is a very decent station, which is watched by very decent-minded individuals. But for them to push this agenda, hiding behind that, I think it is the most unfortunate thing.
Okay, let me come to Kwame. Yeah. Kwame, we always say that, I mean, even from the Green Book, a number of hospitals have been renovated. Tamale Hospital, for instance, MRI machines, a new hospital for Takwa, for Winneba, a lot. Bogatanga Hospital, dozens of polytechnics being established, new midwifery schools, and the evidence on the ground is clear that His Excellent President Mills has done a lot in the health sector. But how come people still question the resolve of the president to believe in our health sector and then not to attend to himself in Ghana?
Well, Felix, I read the statement issued by Nana Akufo-Addo, which is now a controversy. We are being told he didn't issue the statement. Some people are also saying he issued it. But you see, if my comrade Mutala made a statement in 2008, they used this same President Mills is dead tactics, and the gentleman came back from South Africa and beat you. If actually a dead person has beaten you in an election, that shows how hopeless you are probably, because I don't know what else you can do. And unfortunately, they've resurrected this same tactics by issuing this cynical press statement. You see, Nana Akufo-Addo knows very well about sick presidents. Like Mutala said, his father was more or less sick throughout the time that he was president. We are told, like, I mean, he was almost on the flight to another country for treatment. Unfortunately, he passed on as well. We are aware that Nana is not very well as well. I'm told that in Germany, he even visited hospitals for treatment and other things. I'm not sure whether he'll be bold enough to.
But that is normal.
I don't see if Nana.
Because if I should have the opportunity to travel somewhere, I want to take advantage of the facilities that are available there.
If you're on dialysis, I mean, it's an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
I don't see why I should come and use it against you,
exactly,
because anybody could be sick. If somebody is wearing denture because he's led a very bad life in the past, and all his teeth have fallen off, and he's wearing denture, that is not for me to come and sit on television and to be saying, because that wouldn't put food on the table for anybody. But the question you're asking is this: just compare the 8 years of President Kufuor's regime, of which Nana Akufo-Addo was a kingpin, and ask yourself, how many hospitals? What have they done to the hospitals that were existing? Which new ones have they added? What was the plight of healthcare workers in this country? And it was so appalling. You know that Kolebu was almost run down, lifts not working. You have to pay people to carry.
It took 3 years, almost 4 years for the lift to be fixed.
Within the 3.5 years that President Mills have been in power, Kolebu still have got a lot of problems. But go there, the lifts have been fixed. For the first time, we are building MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, in all the major hospitals, Ho, Kolebu, Komfo-Anokye, Tamale, which is at the cutting edge of diagnosis in this world. It doesn't get any better than that. All these things are going on. Takwa Hospital completed, Bekwai almost running to.
There's a new midwifery training school at Gushebu.
And
that adds to 2
exactly.
in the 3
and guess what? The single spine, people don't talk about it this way. The fact that the single spine have come actually put more money in the pocket of doctors, nurses, and other things to encourage them to give us better health delivery. There's so much work going on in the healthcare industry in this country, so that you and I can have the opportunity to do that, which we never had when the NPP was in government. So I am just saying that when the NPP want to talk about healthcare delivery, you see, they skew the whole thing talking about President Mills' health. They should have been talking generally about healthcare delivery in this country. And then let's compare.
But they promised they were going to abolish it in 2000.
Well, I don't even, this list that you mentioned is a very short list. And it's shameful that Nana Akufo-Addo himself is part of it. And it's not even over. He's still receiving those things. How many can Nana Akufo-Addo actually tell us how many times he went outside this country this week? Receiving healthcare in the name of...
He goes for lectures and then...
Exactly.
He goes for lectures, policy programs to deliver policy statements.
Don't worry. I mean, the guy is summertime in Europe. The guy is on holiday. That's as simple as it is. Okay. Look, did you hear Angela Merkel making any personal statement about Nana Akufo-Addo?
Maybe she doesn't know him.
That's the thing. When President Mills meet leaders, you see the comment from Obama. They said, we're happy with the way you lead.
They touch on development.
Exactly. You can't talk about Nana Akufo-Addo like that, because I mean, all you can say about it, just go to WikiLeaks. That's all you can get about Nana Akufo-Addo's persona. You understand? So, I mean, you see, they know they have a candidate who is a broken candidate. It's like
going to war with a broken arrow.
Exactly. He's not going to hold. So, all they need to do is to do the diversion. And it is upon you and I and the NDC stalwart to make sure that we continually remind Ghanaians as to how we carried out the mandate they gave us, and part of it is in the Green Book. When they talk about health, they can continue talking about President Mills' health, who will tell them what we have been doing, so that the people of Volta region, people in Ashanti region, would get better health care. That is a better way to do it. So they can go and do it. But I'm not going to be talking about somebody who took drugs when he was young and all his teeth fell off and he's wearing denture. I'm not going to be talking about things like that.
As I always say, our discussion must be very civil and devoid of any ethnic or religious undertones. I'm still in the studios with Murtala Mohammed and Kwame Agboja. Murtala is the parliamentary candidate of the NDC in the Nantong constituency in Tamale, in the northern region. Yeah. Yes, and then Kwame Agboja is also an aspirant in the Adaklu constituency. I have a first caller from Boga. Hello, Inusa.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Inusa.
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, in this country, I think now things have just turned upside down, because everything that man do, I think they divert it to politics. And it's not good. It will not send us anywhere. As my brother Muntala is saying, the statement of Akufo-Addo, whether the statement he has presented the statement, being that he's wishing the president well, fine. The president is going for checkup. Now he is saying that he's going for what do you call it?
Treatment.
Treatment. Fine. So we believe that maybe the way he put it, that maybe NDC people are not happy. Why do we continue to put it that way by saying that yes, Akufo-Addo don't have the right to tell this thing, but Murtala is saying something. You see, listen to him.
20 seconds. 20 seconds.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, he's saying that. I'm telling Muntala, he's a Muslim. He should swear by the Quran.
Okay, thank you. I wouldn't entertain any swearing. Hello, I'm sorry, I wouldn't entertain any swearing on the program. I'm sorry. Let me pick Abdul. Hello, Abdul.
This Abdulaziz.
Yeah. Okay, Abdulaziz.
Mr. Felix.
Yeah.
It's good. My greetings to Honorable Murtala. In fact, always we are proud of him, the whole country, especially with the northern part of the country. But let me just go forward. And the NPP should stop their hypocrisy and double standards. You know what? Is this the first time that a president is going out for a checkup? In fact, they should spare us with this, their unlawful attacks. This is the Akufo-Addo saying that he's wishing the president well. We in the NDC, we know what it's about. He should keep his wishes. We don't need his wishes. The president is strong and he's healthy. And come December 7th, Ghanaians are going to maintain this man's mandate so that he will give us another 5 polyclinics in the Upper West here. The fifth, over 400 schools enjoying the school feeding program. We still need more. So NPP should stop their hypocrisy.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you very much, Abdulaziz. Let me pick Mensa. Hello, Mensa.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Mensa.
Yeah. I think in this country, you do everything in politics. Everything is in politics. So if Akufo-Addo wish president well, what's the difference? What's the difference? There's no difference. I mean, they are all together. They were students before, and they know each other. So when he say he wish him well, why the people crying?
Yeah, but the president didn't say that he was going for medical treatments. That is the bone of contention.
It doesn't matter.
It matters. It does. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you very much, Mensa. Yeah, let me come to
Ghanaians, we are very reasonable. You know what? Ex-President Kufuor went for surgical operation.
Yeah, I remember after the accident. After the accident he had at the airport junction.
A statement to wish him well.
Yeah.
We had Amale Terizatego.
Yeah, the list is here. I mean, it's a tall list.
When they were all going for treatment, these are members of the NPP. Nana Akufo-Addo didn't issue statement wishing them well. Even recently, ex-President Kufuor, Nana Akufo-Addo didn't issue a statement wishing him a speedy recovery. They can't throw dust into our eyes. That is the fact. And in any case, if you read the Statesman, which is the official blueprint of NPP, edited by Nana Akufo-Addo's nephew, it is owned by Ochiri Daku.
Okay, the one who said even if Nana Addo smokes weed,
exactly.
It's
the next
normal.
day, what did the paper say? So we are not stupid. Ghanaians are not stupid, for God's sake. We know, and if you look at the statement, It is full of sarcastic statements, clearly picking the words that His Excellency the President used when he was granted the interview. They can't deceive us with this. And I'm saying that why didn't Nana Akufo-Addo issue a statement wishing former President Kufuor well when he was going for treatment?
But the question is,
hasn't
he, Nana Addo himself, ever been to any hospital anywhere in the world for treatment?
We're also making this statement referring to what happened in 2008. When pro-MPP papers and MPP people said that His Excellency the President was dead in South Africa, why is it that those people who are calling and raising concerns that it doesn't matter are not questioning the celebration in Kumasi over the death of His Excellency the President?
Brother,
please.
Even the MPP is flip-flopping.
Yeah.
In one vein, they've issued this statement saying they wish the President well. And then you go to the other side, almost all their top guns are saying that, in fact, they probably regretted saying that because NDC actually faked the president's sickness to win sympathy. Yeah. So you can see how inconsistent, how unfair, how insincere.
There's a whole lot of confusion that are in there.
So they are just a bunch of people who flip-flop and just because they want propaganda. That is why we are saying that this so-called well-wishing is malicious. It's not genuine. If actually somebody wants to tell you sorry, you can see from his face. But if you look at their face before they say they make the statement, you can see a very cynical smile on their face. So they don't actually mean what they are saying. I am saying that everybody can be sick, and indeed, Nana Akufo-Addo knows very well about sick president because unfortunately his father went through it before. But we are saying that we've also had issues about Nana Akufo-Addo having bladder problem, liver problem, having dialysis here. But it is not for me to go ask him to bring his medical record. Atta Kennedy asking that the president should bring his medical record. Can Atta Kennedy make his own available as a start? There's nothing in our constitution which says that the president must show his medical record. There's no evidence that the president is not running the country.
If they want, let us have a test by Ghanaian doctors on President Mills's health and that of Nana Akufo-Addo. It's a challenge we are throwing to them. But you know what? They brought some experts from the United Kingdom. And the advice of those campaign experts are that they should attack the persona of His Excellency.
So that's what they're doing.
But we are telling them, if you are in the glass houses, you don't throw stones.
Okay, all right. If you're in a glass house, you don't throw stones.
If they want us to do it,
on that note, but when you look at the Green Book, as part of the achievements of the Better Ghana agenda, as captured in the Green Book, in the health sector, we are talking about 5 new polytechnics in the northern region that have been built and commissioned in Karaga. Yes. Polyclinics in Karaga, Kwandai, Tatale, Janga, and Tripoli. These are things that are on the ground for everyone to see. We are talking about the expansion of the Tamale Hospital. And even when you go in front of the State House now, you see a number of ambulances that have been packed, waiting for distribution as part of the 160 ambulances that have been
I just want NPP to show their version of what
so I think the so far so good book, and then the Green Book, that is the achievement of the first 4 years of the Mills administration. These two books captured vividly what both sides have been able to achieve.
You could get Monkey Sanctuary in this one, and you can get hospitals in this one.
So let me say thank you to all our viewers.